Welcome back to my channel. History Talks, your go-to place for unraveling the greatest fictional whodunits. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Jessica Fletcher, the sharp-witted, typewriter-tapping mystery writer from Murder, She Wrote. And our journey begins right where every great mystery should, in the quiet, coastal town of Cabot Cove. But don't let the charming views and friendly neighbors fool you. Behind the picket fences and warm apple pies, something sinister always lurks. Imagine this: fog curling around the narrow streets at dusk, the clip-clop of Jessica's bicycle echoing through the otherwise silent town square. As she pedals past the old bookstore and the harbor cafe, she senses something isn't right. The kind of stillness that follows just before a secret is about to slip. A glance to the side reveals townsfolk whispering behind curtains, eyes flicking nervously away when she catches them watching. This isn't just small-town gossip, it's the start of something deeper. That evening, a scream cuts through the fog. Police lights paint the white clapboards of a Victorian mansion at the top of the hill in harsh red and blue. A body has been found in the study, an overturned teacup, a broken pocket watch, and a handwritten note beside it. Sheriff Tupper stands baffled, but Jessica, calm, observant, quietly confident, steps past the threshold. She's not here as a detective. She's here as a writer, who just happens to see what others miss. Inside the house, the clues whisper. They're truths. An old diary tucked beneath a floorboard, a single muddy footprint by the fireplace. The butler, too calm. The neighbor, too nosy. The letter opener, gone. Jessica doesn't say much at first. She listens, watches, absorbs. While others speculate, she writes. Back in her cozy study, she sits before her vintage typewriter, notes scattered around her. The click-clack of keys echoes the rhythm of her mind connecting the dots. Her window looks out over the darkened streets, and somewhere out there, the killer thinks they've gotten away with it. But Jessica knows better. Cabot Cove might be small, but its secrets run deep. From hushed meetings in foggy greenhouses to midnight letters dropped in old mailboxes, every detail matters. And Jessica Fletcher, with her quiet resolve and piercing intellect, is the one who sees through it all. As the night deepens and the rain begins to fall, one thing is certain: the mystery has only just begun. And in Cabot Cove, when Jessica Fletcher starts asking questions, the truth is never far behind. It starts with the evidence, scattered, subtle, and soaked in secrets. A torn piece of fabric found caught on the rose bushes behind the mansion. Jessica gently pulls it free, examining the unusual texture with a practiced eye. It's not just torn. It's been sliced. Someone wanted in, or someone was desperately trying to get out. At the police station, a corkboard begins to take shape. Faces, motives, and movements are pinned, connected by red string, Jessica's mental map of deception. At the heart of the mystery is that broken pocket watch left deliberately beside the body. Not just a clue, but a message. Jessica places it under a magnifying glass on her desk, beside her open notebook and the faint glow of her reading lamp. There's a tiny engraving on the edge. Initials, not the victims. A detail missed by the officers, but not by her. That one detail opens a new path, a hidden past, a second life no one in Cabot Cove expected. She visits the library, its tall oak shelves lined with stories and secrets. There's a record, an old town ledger tucked in a back room, nearly forgotten. A name appears more than once in connection with the victim, going back decades. Motive begins to take shape. Jessica's typewriter clacks late into the night as she documents every observation. Her mind works faster than her fingers, but the sound is part of her process. It's how she solves. The suspect list grows. The charming antiques dealer who knew too much, the timid schoolteacher with a missing hour in her alibi, and the gardener who claimed he wasn't on duty but had mud-streaked boots the next morning. Each has their story. Jessica listens carefully, never accusing, just asking the right questions. It's never what they say, it's what they don't. At a dinner party, hosted in honor of the deceased, Jessica watches. Body language speaks, louder than words. One guest stiffens when the victim's name is mentioned. Another reaches for their glass too quickly when asked about the night of the murder. Jessica catches every tell. She's not just a writer, she's a human lie detector. Back at home, she studies her board. She's close. The pieces are falling into place. But the most important clue hasn't come from a fingerprint or a photograph. It came from a whisper. A quiet slip of the tongue from someone who shouldn't have known a particular detail. And just like that, Jessica knows who did it. But she doesn't say anything. Not yet. She'll give them one more chance. One more opportunity to tell the truth. Because Jessica doesn't just want to catch the killer. She wants to understand the story and make sure it's told correctly. The trap begins in silence. Jessica arranges a quiet gathering at the very mansion where the murder occurred, under the pretense of a tribute to the victim. The long dinner table is elegantly set, every candle lit, every guest seated in the same room where someone once died. But Jessica isn't serving dinner. She's serving the truth. She speaks calmly, telling a story that sounds fictional. At first. A woman with a secret. A friend betrayed. A hidden affair from long ago, tied to the initials etched into a broken pocket watch. Guests exchange glances, some confused, some nervous. One guest grips their wine glass just a little too tightly. The suspect doesn't know they're the character in Jessica's tale. Not yet. She places the pocket watch on the table. All eyes fall on it. The room goes still. Jessica says, softly but clearly, "This didn't belong to the victim. It belonged to someone else, someone with a reason to silence them before the past caught up." Gasps ripple through the room. One of the guests begins to sweat. Another rises slightly from their chair, ready to bolt. Jessica doesn't flinch. She walks to the chalkboard she brought in earlier, covered in notes, photos, and that unmistakable red string. One by one, she names connections. The late-night greenhouse meeting, the forged letter, the false alibi, the diary entries hidden in the attic, pages now faded but still sharp enough to cut through lies. She even mentions the torn fabric, now matched to a jacket owned by someone in the room, that someone finally speaks. Denial, anger, then silence. Jessica doesn't accuse. She reveals. With quiet power, she connects the last dot, the phrase overheard, the clue no one should have known. Except the killer. Sheriff Tupper steps in. The arrest is made, but the confession isn't explosive. It's exhausted. Jessica listens, never gloating, just nodding. She isn't in this for justice alone. She's in it for truth. Later that night, Jessica walks the streets of Cabot Cove as the fog rolls in once more. The town looks peaceful again, at least on the surface. In her study, the corkboard comes down. Notes are filed away. The typewriter is quiet. She pours herself tea, the steam curling up like a final breath from a mystery solved. Jessica Fletcher never seeks out murder, but when it comes to her doorstep, she doesn't flinch. She writes, she listens, she watches, and she sees what no one else does. Thank you for joining us on this case. If you loved this journey through Cabot Cove's secrets, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share History Talks You. Until next time, keep your eyes open. Every quiet town has a secret. And someone like Jessica is always watching.